Nikisha. Welcome to my channel. We are still going through the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so excited you decided to join us. Yes, we're going through all 48 laws of these because I want to know what the game is. You want to know what the game is. Otherwise, you wouldn't have clicked on this video. So let's get into law number 23. Concentrate your forces. Conserve your forces and energy by keeping them concentrated at their strongest point. You gain more by finding a rich mine and mining it deeply than by flitting from one shallow mine to another. Intensity defeats extensity every time. When looking for sources of power to elevate you, you will find one key patron, the fat cow, who will give you milk for a long time. Basically, it's saying don't be a jack of all trades and be a master of none. We want to master things, right? We don't want to just be going around from thing to thing. We need to focus. I actually kind of like this law. So let's get into some keys to power. Single-mindedness of purpose, total concentration on the goal, the use of these qualities against people less focused, people in a state of distraction. Such an arrow will find its mark every time and overwhelm the enemy. So what's that telling me is that you need to have a goal. You need to have something that you are absolutely 100% focused on. Not that you're going from this thing to that thing, but that you have something that is really the main thing. Do you have a main thing, or are you just trying to do everything? And I know it's easy to get distracted by everything because sometimes the everything and the new things are so shiny and they're so cool. But is it keeping you to your goal? Think about that for a second. Here's another one. Concentrate on a single goal, a single task, and beat it into submission. It does say that. We're on page 175. If you wanted to know. And I think this means that you have to learn to say no. You can't do everything. I know you might want to do everything. You can do anything, but you can't do everything. So you really have to get really laser focused on what it is that you want. And learning to say no is a big part of that, because I know, especially as an entrepreneur, you can get so many new things that you can do. Everything can be new if you want it to be. And that is very easy to get distracted and never keep the main thing the main thing. So you want to make sure that you are single-minded, that you have a goal, that you stay focused on it, and that you don't get distracted, because you want to make sure that you reach your goal. Oh, I added a note on here that says don't quit when you're in the middle. A lot of times, the reason why we have to learn how to say no is because you're in the middle of doing whatever it is, and the middle is not fun. It's kind of boring. It's just the same thing day after day after day, and you look back and yeah, you're like, the middle was the whole journey, but when you're in the middle, it's boring. So that new thing, that new distraction, that new opportunity can be so exciting, something that you really want to take advantage of. But learning to say no is going to be important, because it might be exciting, it might be new, it might be fun, but it might not be the single-minded goal that you had in mind. So just think about that. Okay, let's keep going. In the game of power, only a fool flails about without fixing his target. You must find out who controls the operations and who's the real director behind the scenes. Like when you go into any organization, there's a hierarchy, right? Everybody has their own position, so you know what people do what and who you're supposed to report to, right? That's the formal. But then there's also the informal. Who is the one who really wields the power? So yeah, he might be the president, but it might be his secretary who's really the one who gets all of his notes together and tells him the things that he needs to be working on and make sure that he knows what he's going to be focused on. So if you actually were to get to be friends with the secretary, you would have actually more pull over the boss. So I think that's what that little piece is telling us, is that sometimes it's not the person that overtly has the power. Sometimes it's somebody who covertly, who doesn't even have a title. They're the ones with the real power. So I guess when you go back to the main topic of focus and concentration, you might have been concentrating all your efforts on the boss, and he's like not even having it. Well, guess what? The boss doesn't even control his schedule. The boss doesn't know who calls. The boss only knows what the secretary told him. So really, the source of power is the secretary. So that's the person that you should be spending all your time with, because if you focus on them, you have a much better chance of moving the head of the boss. What's that one? Yeah, he might be the head, but we're the neck, and the neck can turn the head whichever way she wants to. So that's kind of like that. Find out who the real power is, and then focus your efforts on them. So that way you're not going everywhere with all of your efforts. See, I eventually get to tie it back. It might take me a while, but I eventually get to the point that I was trying to make, hopefully. If not, let's move on and go to the reversal of the law. Trying to single a source of power has one preeminent danger. If that person dies, leaves, or falls from grace, you suffer. So, listen, okay. So, if you read the book, what I'm talking about is not in the book. I'm just giving you my opinion about what they're talking about. So, anyways, on this one, we're going to talk about single sources of income versus multiple sources of income. If you only have one source of income and that income is gone, what are you going to do? That's why it's important to have multiple sources of income. And it's even better if those multiple sources of income can all have to do around the same theme, right? You don't have to do too much switching. Like maybe it's just an add-on service that adds an additional value to a service that you're already offering versus having two completely different businesses. So when you're thinking about having multiple sources of income, think about having those incomes just kind of, build on top of each other. So you're not always having to rebuild. You're really just more expanding. So yes, that didn't have anything to do with what the book said, but I thought it was a really good point anyway. So what are my final thoughts? Concentrate your focus. Oh, well, it says concentrate your forces. Bruh, I've been saying concentrate your focus this whole time, and it's really concentrate your forces. I don't be paying attention to this book at all. I just come up with my own thing. So, anyways, we're going to go with what Nikisha Bond said. Concentrate your focus. Because I think that that's more important. Because what forces do you have? Because in the book, it's talking about like war and, peacetime and stuff like that and strategies of kings and queens, remember? I'm just trying to relate this to things that we can do. And I think you do need to get a focus. Like I need to get a focus in this video. Get a focus. Get a focus. Get your main thing and make your main thing the main thing. Learn to say no to the things that don't serve you. Learn to say yes to the things that are building for you. And if you get the opportunity to kind of build and expand upon what you're having, like, instead of a single source of income, having multiple sources of income, do that too. So you want to stay focused, but you also want to be open to the opportunity of things that will build on something that you're already working on. Listen, I'm not going to re-record this video, so I hope that somebody found some little bit of value. Well, anyways, if you have a different take on law number 23, I would love to hear that, so please drop it in the comment, and then make sure that you like, make sure that you subscribe, and do all that really fun stuff. Make sure that you share this with a friend, or maybe don't share it with a friend, because I'm not sure if there was a point, but if there was a point, share that with a friend, because they need to be focused too. I need to learn how to focus. This is why focus is so important, even though it's about forces. There it goes there. Anyways, have a great day. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.